Trouble brewing in Kogi State politics as some APC leaders move against Governor Yahya Bello. A pro-Bello protest staged in Lokoja today. And we continue the assessment over the allegations of the grass cutting scandal brought up by a panel in the Senate against the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Babache Lawal, amidst the report sent by the President to the Senate to clear the SGF and Mr. Magu as the EFCC chairman. And that's our focus today on the program. Many thanks for joining in, everyone. This is Politics Today, live on Channels Television. We're reaching you from our Lagos studio. Many thanks for joining in, everyone. I'm Sheon Kimbaloye. Let's get started, shall we? Loads and loads of interesting scenario playing out in Kogi State. Kogi State, everybody knows that state to be a very, very volatile political atmosphere. Over the time when the governorship election held, and we know all what happened afterwards, and of course in the State House of Assembly, the crisis which erupted just when people thought that things may have simmered and the governor may be settling into office. A year after, is celebrating 1 year in office today, and some members of the party and some leaders of the party have moved against him, condemning some of his policies, some of which they call anti-party activities by the governor. Some of them held a press conference today in Abuja. That's going to be one of the major topics we'll be talking about today. But for a moment, let's talk about the economy. The Nigerian Senate has gone now suspended or adjourned plenary till February to look into the details of the 2017 budget, the over 7 trillion budget presented by President Muhammadu Buhari last year is said to be the budget of recovery and growth. But there's several questions coming from lawmakers on the floor of both chambers about just how realistic that budget is. A major question is the kind of peace that we may be seeing in the Niger Delta that can guarantee more income and more revenue to the nation, considering that that is where the mainstay of the Nigerian economy, oil, is being explored. And that's where Nigeria gets most of its money. Nigeria is targeting 2.2 million barrels per day and the production and exploration of oil in that region to be able to meet up with some of the expectations of, for example, the over 30% of that budget which should go into a capital budget. But then, how will this financing come? There are some questions also about borrowing to service that budget. Where will all of this come from? Don't forget that the president wanted to borrow $30 billion. Is that going to be approved? We talked about also the MTEF, the medium-term expedition framework. What about that? Those are several questions begging for answer. One thing also is the activities in the Senate. When the president wrote to the National Assembly about clearance of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Babache Lawal, clearing him of any wrongdoing in the allegations against him about the fraud on the monies meant to rehabilitate the Northeast. They have been ravaged by the Boko Haram insurgency. Well, another issue is that of Mr. Ibrahim Magu, and the president sent a report to ask that the man should be cleared for the position of the EFCC chairman. But let's get back talking about the economy, shall we? Let's take a listen to my colleagues' report, Lanre Lasisi, on what transpired on the floor of both chambers of the National Assembly yesterday as the lawmakers have suspended adjourned plenary till February. Take a listen.
As Nigerians continue to lament the hardship being faced in the current economic recession, lawmakers have called for more action on the part of the executive. Discussion on the issue commenced following a motion by Representative OK Jeff.
Concerned that the effects of this unstable economic climate include the continuous loss of jobs by Nigerians, which is inflicting pain and suffering on the old, the young, and even the rich.
The motion enjoyed the support of lawmakers across party lines.
But I think the executive will need to look out of the box. We don't have to remain where we are, telling Nigerians the same thing, thinking a different thing will happen tomorrow.
SMEs that normally go to the microfinance banks to borrow money, at what rate are they going to borrow money in order to reduce the prices of items? It does not make any human sense.
The House resolved to set up an ad hoc committee on economic recession to monitor the policies and steps the executive is taking to arrest the situation. The committee has 3 months to complete its work. The House is also planning to have a sectorial debate on the matter. The focus remained on the economy when the House resumed the debate on the 2017 budget for the third allotted day.
Let's look at the issue of this diversification properly. It calls for the issue of non-mineral and mineral resources, be able to reduce this exclusive legislative list so that we avoid these continuous rituals which we come here to do on a yearly basis.
There has been a conscious attempt to make this budget a project and programs budget.
The debate also continued in the Senate. Eventually, the bill passed through second reading in both chambers.
The committees should be very vigilant on this area, as was said many times by different speakers on the issue of computers, cars, and some of these items that keep on repeating year in, year out. Those committees should please be very vigilant in this area to block leakages.
Now, it's at this point that the real work starts. The National Assembly is expected to go through this budget proposal and bring out a document that will indeed be a budget of recovery and growth for this country. Lanre Lasese, Channels Television News.
My colleague there, Larry Lasisi, on the issue of the budget, but then a big question is when and how will Nigeria get out of recession? Some economists have said, look, on this program, that Nigeria may get out of the recession. But when that happens, it's going to be joy to many people. We're going to dig more into that much later on the program.